It's Kyle Meredith. Welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith With, an audio interview series presented by WFPK Independent Louisville and Consequence of Sound. My guest today is Finn Wolfhard of the band Calpurnia. Now, you also know Finn from shows like Stranger Things, the movie It, and the upcoming It 2. He spends whatever other time he has in his life in a band with three of his best friends called Calpurnia. They just debuted a couple of tracks, and they've got an EP coming out this summer called Scout. We got to talk all about how it came to be, how the band Twin Peaks was a big part of that process, and what we can expect from the rest of the record. Of course, we also got a little update on Stranger Things Season 3 and the sequel to it as well. It's Kyle Meredith with Calpurnia's Finn Wolfhard.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm well. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, pleasure to talk to you, too.
Well, first off, though, I'm really impressed by the two songs that we have heard from Calpurnia so far. To be so realized of a project right from the beginning is completely impressive. I'd like to get a bit of the backstory, too. How long have you been playing now?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. That means a lot. And I've been playing music. I started playing bass in about 2010. So I was, I think I might have been 8. I think I was 8 when I started playing music. And so I was just playing the bass and messing around with the bass, and I only knew a few notes on guitar. And then I made friends with the drummer, Malcolm, and then he was a drummer and I was the bassist, and we were sort of messing around all the time. And then I guess I sort of just made the switch to the guitar and started kind of playing seriously about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
How easy did the guitar come for you, having come from the bass?
It was just so different. I knew like the basic chords, and then I was just self-taught. I didn't really take any. I took bass lessons for a few years, and then I didn't take any guitar lessons. I took maybe one guitar lesson when I was really young, but I'm mostly self-taught.
So how quick did the songs come? Like, are the songs that we're going to hear on the EP from right at the beginning, or did you try out a few that no one will ever hear?
Like the songs that you heard that you're going to hear like on the album is like only one song on that album have we had since we were young on the EP. But the lyrics are completely different. It sounds completely different from what it used to be. It's just the same riff. But we've been kind of messing around for a while. Those were kind of the songs. I mean, you know, if we wouldn't have, we were originally going to record an EP just by ourselves, independently, in our guitarist Ayla's basement. And then we got a better opportunity to actually record with Twin Peaks at their studio. And so, you know, who knows? They might have been completely different songs if we wouldn't have, you know, gone with them.
Coincidentally, Twin Peaks are in Louisville tonight. They're playing here in town.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Worked out timing, so I'm going to be checking that out. So how did you get hooked up with them? Because, having the folks from there helping you guys out, really taking you under your wing doing the production of this, how did that all come about?
So I had a mutual friend who was best friends with our producer, Cadien, and the guitarist of Twin Peaks. Or not best friends, but, you know, good friends with him. Mm-hmm. And he's in Stranger Things. He plays Steve, and he was in a band called Post Animal. And I kind of asked him, because I love Twin Peaks music, and I was just kind of a fanboy, and I still am. I asked him I think I just started talking to him over text and stuff, and I started sending him song ideas just as friends. We were just talking as friends and stuff, and then we were thinking later, we were like, wait, so, you know, maybe we don't have to record it. You know, we still recorded it independently. It's just like we didn't record it out of Ayla's basement, and we would have produced it ourselves. And we were like, oh, well, we should get a producer. And I realized, I was like, wait, Cadien, you know, Twin Peaks produces all their own tracks. Like, they all recorded themselves in their studio. And so, you know, we thought that was the best way, and I had already kind of known them. And then that was it from there.
That's cool. The sound on these songs on this EP sort of have that quality that Twin Peaks is known for, you know, lo-fi, garagey sound, and even Mac DeMarco, which I know you've got a little bit of history with as well. It sort of fits in the family. Did you all, is that part of it? Is that what drew you to that? Like, they had that sound, and you're like, yeah, we can do that? That's what we like?
Exactly. Yeah, that was kind of exactly what it was. But the rest of the EP, like those, some of the songs in the EP are really different from Twin Peaks, and like the sound is, you know, I think there's a lot of Twin Peaks sound, not only because we're big fans of them, just because they also produced it as well, so they put their flavor in there as well. And, I don't think we went into it being like, this is like, we want this to sound like whoever, but like, it just ended up sounding that way, which is awesome. We couldn't be happier. For people to compare it like that. But yeah, we're really happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, you get that especially in that first song with City Boy. And again, that was, that's our introduction to you guys and everything. And it was like, holy crap, this is like my first band was not good at all. Especially, my first band, I was 14, 15 when I did that too. And it wasn't near what this sounded like. So yeah, I wouldn't mind actually hearing about the first single too, City Boy. Is there, what's the story there?
The story about that, I was just, how I wrote it, I was just at home, and I came up with the riff first, and then usually how it goes is if I like the riff a lot, and, like, I'm in the right headspace, I can just write for hours and hours and hours. So I was toying with that riff and those lyrics for a little bit, and then the band came in later, and sort of, we all workshopped the lyrics together, and then we all went in to record, and that was it. And, yeah, that was a really fun track to record, just because for that track particularly, we all learned a lot about mixing tracks on Ableton Live, and just in general on how to make different sounds with different stuff. And so that was really interesting to go through.
Usually with a new band, especially your first band, as we were just talking about, you kind of get a gestation period, where no one's paying attention. you get to work through finding your sound and your voice, which isn't going to be the case because,
for sure.
Of your other career. Is that on your mind at all? Like this all starts completely in the public?
For sure. I mean, the other thing is that, like, I have, that was the big thing going into it. It was like, yeah, I already do have a following, but, like, the first thing I told all my, all the people in the band who are all, we're all equally involved in it. And I just told them, I was like, I don't want this to be, like, my band. Like, I want this to be our, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like the Finn Wolfhard, like, extravagant, like, I've already been playing with these guys for years and years, and just now we're just putting a name on it. We never just had a name, but we've been a band for a really long time.
Of course, the artwork of the EP with a bunch of busted TVs, it's hard not to look in on that and think, well, yeah, you work in movies, you work in television. Is that related at all?
I mean, maybe. We didn't go into it thinking that way, but I like hearing other people's takes on it. And I guess the busted TVs all go to Jason Bartell, who's the guy who did the cover and did all the artwork. He also did there's a band called Pup from Toronto who's on our label, who we love, and he did their album cover as well. The story behind the TVs is just Jason toying with it. I think we had the character that's on all the covers. Our thinking behind it was when we were recording, we were like, it'd be cool to have kind of like a Matrix type, like almost like Slave, kind of in the distant future. It's not at all a concept album or anything. It's just kind of the character that represents the album, and we call him Scout. And he's kind of just, it's set in the near future, and he's kind of a slave to technology, as you can see, because if you look closely on the single covers, he has like cables coming out of his head, TVs in the background, and he's kind of just trapped. Yeah. So that was the original thing, and then it kind of just spun off into new stuff. So like as more singles come out, there's going to be more, there's going to be even more stuff that there's going to be even more meanings to it.
Yeah,
but
cool.
that was it. That was the first thing that we all pitched.
I'm going to use this. I'm also going to dip into that other side of your job and everything to kind of tie the two together. But, with so much 80s pop culture that happens in Stranger Things and what you've been a part of, I don't know how much you have to absorb the culture of your roles. But I think I was a little surprised that I didn't hear any of that rub off on this project.
Yeah, I think the other thing, going back to what I said before, I just, I wanted not in a bad way or anything. I just I want to keep all of the things that I do as kind of separate as possible. That makes sense. Our band to be associated with Stranger Things would not be good, just because you're associating yourself with the thing that made you big, and it's almost like you're cashing in on it all the time. I wanted to distance, when it comes to music, I wanted to distance myself as much as possible from that show, because I to that I'm acting in, and this, it's I want to show a completely different side of myself. That doesn't have to do with, the show. There's some sound on some other tracks on the album. There's some 80s sounds on there. But yeah.
I don't know. Am I permitted to ask any questions about that while we're here?
About Stranger Things? Yeah. I mean, as long as it's not about like the third thing, because I genuinely don't know anything about it.
No, well, that was just it. I noticed that they had announced a couple new additions today with Carrie and Jake Busey, which is that's got to be cool.
I literally just saw that on Deadline today, so I'm excited for that to happen, playing a mayor. So that would be cool. Yeah, I think I'm really excited for all the new characters. I think they're all going to be great. I haven't met them yet. I'm meeting them later this week, but yeah, I'm very excited to get going again with that.
Has it been told? Is this a 2019 thing, 2018 thing? I don't know if that's been announced. So
I think it's a 2019 thing. I don't think there's an official start or release date, but yeah, I think it's 2019. I don't think there's any way our show can be done and like edited and done in like 2 months before. But yeah, I think it'll be 2019.
And then the other side of it, with it too, I've started hearing that Bill Hader might be playing the adult version of you, which was something that you kind of recommended. Is that right?
Yeah. That was I always thought that he would be great. Even when we were shooting it, I always thought he would be a great thing. And I mean, hopefully he signs off on it like officially. Like I think it's only been rumored, but I hope like they sign the contract and it's all good. So if that happens, I'm like super excited for it to happen.
Huge. That would be huge. Have you spoken to him? Are you guys buds? Has he heard the band?
No, never. I've never spoken to him before. I'd love to though. He's our hero. Me and the band like quote him all the time, like all of his SNL bits and all of his improv bits, and so we're huge fans of him.
And what's the update there? Is there a script? Do you guys know when you're going to start on that one?
There is. I mean, sometime this summer, I'm sure, but we all have to figure out all of our schedules to get back into it. But yeah, that'll be great to go back to that as well.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, man. I mean, all this going on. I seriously, I felt bad when they told me I could get a phoner with you because I was like, I'm just going to eat up the little time that the kid has. So
No, man. No, my mind's moving all the time. If I don't do stuff, I'm just going to be bored.
Well, I'm really happy to talk to you. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of this record. Like I said, I really am impressed by the 2 songs we've heard so far. What's the release on the EP? When's it come out?
June 15th.
Well, look forward to that. And I don't know, you guys got plans for a full length after that? Do you want to try to get to an album pretty quick?
We're writing all the time, so we're whenever we all have time, we're gonna get back into it.
Well, I'll look forward to that, and again, man. I can't wait to see the other things you got going on, Stranger Things, the whole thing. I love it, and I really do appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you, man. It was great talking to you.
All right, we'll see you. Take care.
Okay, later. Bye.
Hey, thanks to Finn for giving me the call today. Again, that Calpurnia EP, Scouts, coming out this summer. Don't forget to subscribe to Consequence of Sound's YouTube channel to keep up with your favorite artists and interviews, and WFPK.org, where I do a show every Monday through Thursday from noon to 3 Eastern. I'm Kyle Meredith, and I'll see you next time.